we'll do the live thing first. Like. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bigmark podcast. It's me, your host, Bigmark. If it's your first time watching, welcome. If not, welcome back. Like I always say, if you ever wanted to reach out to the podcast for any reason, let us know if you wanted to come on as a guest, or let us know if you wanted to hear about a topic. You can always reach out in the DMs, in the comments, wherever you'd like. Actually, it'd be great if you guys started dropping the comments if you're on YouTube, or I think you can start doing that on Spotify as well as watch video now too. So you can check us out whether you're watching or listening. It's the best way you can possibly support the podcast. So thank you for doing either or both, depending on how you do it. I don't know how everyone actually listens all the time. You know, of course I can see some metrics, but I know I've been known to put on the YouTube in the background and just let it run. Sometimes I'm listening off Spotify, so you never know with the old pod keezy for sheezy. So again, thank you for being here, and thank you for giving me your time and attention. If you did want to go that extra mile and help support us, make sure you like and subscribe to the video, to our channels and stuff, and like the videos and follow along and do all that fun stuff. And check out our Patreon, patreon.com/thebigmarkpod. We got a couple different levels you can support us that way to keep the lights on, so to speak. So again, thank you all for being here tonight, this morning, this afternoon, whenever you might be listening. It's another exciting episode. I mean, I already did one talking about the showcase that my band Reckless Harbor did, but this is an episode that I think I teased during that episode. At least I hope I did. And talking about the festival itself, Mariposa Folk Fest, which is super exciting. It's coming up. It's coming up very soon. At least the week that this video is being shown. But like some things, not everything on the Bigmark podcast, this one is going to be a little bit evergreen anyway. The Mariposa Folk Festival is a Canadian music festival founded in 1961 in Orillia, Ontario. If you don't know where Orillia is, it's about an hour north of Toronto, just north of Barrie. Really cool little town there. The Mariposa Folk Festival was held in Orillia for 3 years before being banned because of disturbances by the festival goers. So there was some greasiness, I'm sure, just people being, greasy old hippies and rolling around. Again, in 1961, folk music was a different kind of music, right? Like, it wasn't necessarily seen as the easy listening kind of thing. Now, folk had... Again, in the 60s, folk had kind of almost an anti-establishment movement going on with it sometimes. There was something, the Pete Seegers of the world, and, that the kind of trying to disseminate knowledge and try to disseminate truth through music and make the songs easy so that everyone can play them. So you never know what was going on. After being held in various places in Ontario for a few decades, which we'll get to those few places, it returned to Orillia in 2000. Ruth Jones, her husband Frederick Crawford Jones, her brother David Major, and Pete McGarvey organized the first Mariposa Folk Festival in 1961. The inaugural event, covered by the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, featured all Canadian performers. The festival grew in popularity, size, and rowdiness until the popularity of the 1963 festival, with over 8,000 advance tickets sold, and the lack of sufficient security led to a backlash from town locals. Again, I'm sure there was some kind of greasiness happening there. Understandably so. Again, this is the 60s, right? The city of Orillia secured a court injunction to prevent the festival from continuing in the town limits. The first festival held in the Toronto area in 1964 was at Maple Leaf Stadium. So that's where the Toronto Maple Leaf baseball team actually plays. I think they're actually called the Maple Leafs as well. Anyway, the subsequent 3 festivals were held at Innis Lake in Caledon, just northwest of the city. In the 70s, that's where they had it, up there in Caledon. And then after that, for the rest of the 70s, it was held on the Toronto Islands before shifting to the harbourfront in Toronto, and Bathurst Street, and later Molson Park in Barrie. So it did move around quite a bit. Like I said, I'll get into that. I'll get into the timeline here in a second. But in 2000, the Mariposa Folk Festival was invited back to Orillia by city councilors Tim Lauer, and Don Evans. The festival continues to be held in Orillia, as well as folk music. The festival highlights other aspects of folk culture, including dance, crafts, and storytelling. This year, it is being held July 3rd to the 5th at Tudhope Park in Orillia, Ontario. It's been held usually at some point in July, all through these years. And again, it's kind of one of these things where when Reckless Harbor, my band, was first looking into, or when we applied for the showcase, we put our name in. If you haven't seen the episode, go check it out. I'll put a link in the video. But if you when we first applied for it, we were like, oh yeah, cool, Mariposa. I've heard of that folk fest. That's pretty cool. It should be fun. Maybe it's a long shot because it's a little bit of a bigger one, but maybe it's good because it's a bigger one. You never know. And later we come to learn that there was 270 applicants for the emerging artist stage. We were chosen. We were one of 10 chosen out of that 270. And then when we did the showcase, which again, go check out that episode. But when we won the showcase, I don't know how else to put it. When we won our spot on the showcase, we were so honored and so surprised. And I started looking into the festival a little bit more and knowing that, oh my gosh, there's been absolutely amazing artists. This festival, despite being moved all over Ontario, has still been going. And like I said, it's been held in all of these Ontario locations. 1961 was the first one in Oval Park in Orillia. 64 Maple Leaf Stadium in Toronto, then Innis Lake in Caledon, like I mentioned. From 68 to 79, it was at Center Island on the Toronto Islands, like I mentioned. 1982 was when it actually moved to the Harbourfront. 83 was at Christie Pitts. 84 to 91 was Molson Park in Barrie. 1992, they had it at Ontario Place, which is so cool. 93 to 95 was at Olympic Island and downtown Toronto. 96 was Annie Williams Park in Bracebridge, and then Victoria Park in Cobourg, so I guess they kind of split it up a little bit. 97, Annie Williams Park in Bracebridge only. 99 was Parkdale, back in Toronto. And then 2000 to the present has been Tudhope Park. So, 26 years it's been back in Orillia. So it's really cool that they were able to bring that back to Orillia originally, because originally the idea for the Mariposa Folk Festival was created by Ruth Major and her husband Casey Jones, and I wonder if he's anything to do with the actual Casey Jones. After hearing a presentation by John Fisher, the name for the festival was borrowed from Stephen Leacock's book Sunshine Sketches of a Little Town, set in the fictional town of Mariposa, which was inspired by the real life town of Orillia. The Mariposa Folk Festival, again, had to move around, as I mentioned before. Those times, the backlash that the Orillia and Mennonite, Mennonite. Oh my God, I always read it like that. I can't believe I still read it like that. The backlash from the Orillia and Medonte Township prevented the festival from continuing in its Orillia location, in its original location. So again, it's kind of one of those things where the town probably eventually saw that, oh my gosh, this is a big festival. This draws big names. This could bring us back to Orillia. It is the home of Gordon Lightfoot. Orillia is the hometown of Gordon Lightfoot, and he is one of the folk icons of the entire world. And maybe they started to finally realize that. Again, it still took them almost 40 years to do it. So, as mentioned before, they first kind of started just as a way to get some bands out there and have some fun. But in 1966, the festival's format actually changed and it became more workshop based and featured multiple stages so that different performances could occur. And they still do that. So actually, Reckless Harbor is part of one of these workshops, and yeah, it seems really interested. We're actually super looking forward to it. We're doing 3 different sets. They invited us up early this year, so we're going to be doing Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday is the workshop set, and it's really interesting because it's there's going to be 2 other bands there with us, or one other artist that we met at the showcase. He's a super cool guy from Cape Breton, Dane Penderson, Dean. Sorry, I think it's Dean. Oh my God, I gotta get his name right because we're gonna be fucking playing together. But Dane Penderson, the man, Daner. So we're going to be doing a showcase, a little showcase with him, and another band too. So we're really looking forward to, again, I think Dan's on his own, but, Dan, oh my God, Daner is on his own. Dane is on his own doing his thing, but I wonder if he'll have a band as well. I am looking forward to that. You know, I'm checking things out here just on the Mariposa website here because it shows the festivals. Let me see here. Let's see if I can get here. Just because I don't want to leave out the other band. Oh my gosh. Mariposa schedule. So, like I said, we're going to be doing Thursday, little like 45-minute sets, kind of like an opening thing, which is really exciting for the rest of the concert goers, because we get to start things a little bit early, which is very exciting. And then Friday we have a 50-minute set. This is just like a little evening thing. It should be really fun because it's like 7:00 ish. So, you know, we're not like the first people going out, but also, you know, we're out there and getting after it. And then Saturday is the workshop thing that we're talking about. Oh my gosh, can't talk tonight. But we're really excited about doing this thing again with Dane and the boys. We're going to be on, let me see if I can find the stage here. So the stage is the Bohemian Embassy stage. So it's a 75-minute set, but the Longest Johns as well. They're actually from the UK and they do like super cool sea shanties and stuff. So anyway, that's going to be really exciting to do that. Again, that kind of workshop style, which is still how they do it, which is actually pretty cool. Again, to see that, you know, things changed since that format changed in 1966. But then they kept it on. So that's really exciting. 1969, CBC filmed throughout the weekend of the festival and created a documentary entitled Mariposa Folk Festival, which aired in September 28th, 1969. So I wonder if we can still check that out somewhere. So again, the show continued through the 70s, went through all of its changes. Its 50th anniversary was in 2010. And it started fielding more young and developing talent, and I guess that's kind of where the emerging artists showcase and up and coming showcase program started, as it was first called. So that was really exciting, and it was exciting to be there. And over all these years, again, this has been such an amazing festival. It's brought people from all over the world, including the likes of Jackson Browne and Bruce Cockburn, Leonard Cohen, Leon Redbone, Edith Falk, Gordon Lightfoot, of course, Joni Mitchell, Alanis Abumsawin, Buffy St. Marie, Neil Young, John Prine, Arlo Guthrie. And, you know, it's such an amazing thing to be a part of that somewhere in history now. We're somehow a part of that same lineup too. We're so excited to play Friday, we're playing, if anyone's seen this before we're playing the pub stage at 5:40. And then that same night, Father John Misty is going to be playing the Lightfoot stage, which is so cool to be saying we're playing the same night at the same festival as Father John Misty. And then, like I said, we're also going to be having our workshop again on the Saturday as well. So that's really cool. It's going to be kind of like, sounds like a little bit more of this open jam thing. We're probably going to all play our own songs. People probably want to ask questions and stuff, and we'll be, of course, happy to answer everything. So really excited to see everyone. Really excited to see everyone who we passed the showcase with, and it's really exciting to be a part of this in one way or another, especially playing 3 different nights, and they put us up, and the festival just won the best medium-sized festival of the year. I mean, I don't know who's giving out the awards, but it's really cool to see some recognition for how good that the great job that these people do. Especially, we were just there for the showcase, and they had food out, and the place was great, and they took care of everyone, and they were really nice. And obviously they want to see what kind of person you are too, because they want to work with you and don't want to have any problems. Obviously, they've been around for long enough. I'm sure there's lots of stories of artists going off and doing whatever the fuck. So again, really, really, really looking forward to it. Really, Ontario, July 3rd to the 5th, 2026, baby. You'll see Reckless Harbor there. Hopefully you'll see us there again and again and again. Folk Fest. Folkin' right. All right, y'all. Love ya. See you there. Peace.